Hey, honey, I'm home.
Mm.
How was your day? I know I'm a bit late. Sorry. Caught up in traffic, and there was some work after. Our boss put us on overtime. So
Have you done dishes?
no, I was at work.
I'm gonna go to sleep first, yeah?
What? Bro, what's she so mad about, man? Just came home, bro. I just want a break. Why are you so mad all the time?
He doesn't even know I'm mad right now.
I'm watching the footy, man.
I'm like trying to sleep, and he's watching football right now. What the He's
Yeah,
not gonna come over.
dogs.
He's not even gonna come over and like hug me. What the and then this goes on for like a year. How you liking the new setup,
guys? I'm loving
guys?
it, man. I'm loving it. This shit looks so nice, bro. It looks so good. It looks professional, man. I walked in here, I was like, damn, this is
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it?
It's a set, bro.
I took many years, to be honest. Like I just like the idea of like recording something and it just feeling like home, and I really didn't want to add like lights or whatever, but I guess it was just arrogant and stupid. And to be honest, just feels a lot better right now. And yeah.
It feels refreshing.
Yeah. Which, funnily enough, speaking of today's episode, someone should have had this crucial conversation with me about buying the lights and everything. Just like actually convincing me. I think I have too many yes men around me, and like they
too many yes men around you.
Yeah, like no offense, like it's not that it's coming bad from you, but like everyone's very nice and supportive towards me. But I feel like there should be more people around me that like just beat me up and like get the fucking lights,
Get the lights.
or like just do something,
Should I be more headfast in my opinions?
Anything to make things better in your head.
Okay. If I believe if I believe that it would be better, I should just like push
100%, 100%. Dude, we'll definitely go to with this crucial conversation thing. Yeah. It's funnily enough, we just talked about this before we started recording.
Yeah.
Uday thought that this was something that I got on ChatGPT.
Yeah, I thought you got these as talking points. Right? I saw the photo. You sent the photo. My dumbass brain. Did you even send that these were my notes or something? What did you write?
No, I didn't. I mean, but it's like obviously the iPhone notes. Like, what do you mean? I sent him an iPhone note. Like, basically, this whole episode we're gonna talk about is a book that I've read. All right, an ebook that I read.
Exactly. But when you sent it, I was like, these all look like talking points, and then I read through them like, oh, okay, so these are like where we're heading with each line or what conversation points we're gonna have. And then you told me, nah, bro, it's my notes. I was like, what the fuck?
Yes. I actually took the time to like write all these things down, right? So that's the best part about like having a Kindle. I love reading books a lot. Like I genuinely do love reading books a lot. But with the Kindle, like I can just go to the highlights and then just go back to the points, and then now I'm writing down the notes. So that's essentially what I did.
Nice.
And this is a very, very popular book. Like when you Google or like go to YouTube, I think a lot of guys, right, all these red pill guys, when we're starting like the drop shipping or the business, whatever, there's like a top 10 book that you have to read. And this is one of those books that you have to read. And the best thing about all these books is it's all about business, right? But then when you start learning about these things about business, you realize like business is just relationships with people. So not only do you learn about how to do better in business, but you get to know how to have better relationships with everyone in general. So that's the whole point of this book, Crucial Conversations. I think it's leaning towards that business section, but it's also like a lot of how to talk to your wife, how to talk to your husband, family, all these kind of things. And there's a lot to learn. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So shall we get started on chapter 1, Mary? So what's a crucial conversation? Let's start with the examples, right? The basic example is when there's a problem in communication and the biggest illusion is that it has taken place.
Yeah,
I'll definitely go into this for a little bit more. Like for example, where you have like friendships when someone is lazy or you're angry at someone but you don't tell them, and then when you're, for example, breaking up and then you just assume they know how you feel, when a colleague is not doing well, when someone has a personal hygiene problem and you don't tell them as well. All right. Now this example that I can give, right? This illusion that it has taken place.
Yeah.
Let me give you guys an example, the perfect example, right? You're going to dinner with like 5 of your friends, right? All of you are ready at the dinner table. You're ready to order.
Yep.
You know that there's this one dude that's going to be late. He doesn't tell you guys, all right?
Yep.
He comes in after an hour of being late. All of you are hungry already. And he just sits down. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Now all of you are just staring at him like, And at that moment, the thing that I know all of you are thinking about right now, the same thing that I'm thinking about, this motherfucker.
this motherfucker
just doesn't understand how humans work. He's such an idiot. You know? He's such an idiot, doesn't have personal respect. He doesn't know anything about like basic respect. He has no, you know, like
all of us been waiting a fucking hour and this motherfucker shows up and acts like nothing happened. Yeah, exactly, yeah, man.
And at that moment, that conversation in your head, you think he knows the issue, but sadly, as humans, some people don't.
Yeah.
They genuinely don't know what's wrong with them. And they don't see the problem, you know? And they don't... And I guess, to a certain extent, it's also like they don't see how angry you were in that hour of waiting as well.
Yeah.
Because when people are hungry, bruh, we get really angry.
When you're hungry, man.
Yeah.
I just want to eat some food.
Or like when you like already planned this for a while and it's really hard.
And you're like, yeah, exactly. And you've like hyped it up amongst your friends and stuff. You're excited. It might be like a new restaurant as well. Then you really want to try the like food out and stuff. You've already been sitting there for an hour. And then, yeah. I mean, I've had that situation so many times where they're just someone is late and it's usually the same suspect over and over again. But motherfucker never lets you know. He's never saying like, oh yeah, sorry guys, I'll be like a little bit late. You know, you rock there like, oh, look, there's 6 of us, but I wonder where the 7th one is. Oh, that's right. He hasn't left home yet.
And then the worst thing is when that keeps happening and you don't actually address the issue, and then, or even if you do address the issue, they still keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
These are like the small things that could end up being like, I don't know if it happened to you guys, but like, I think personally for me, it hasn't happened, but like, if these kind of things happen so many times, that's where you realize like, you naturally don't hang out with them as much.
Yeah, yes, bro. Listen. You start to develop a natural angst against them.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's bad habits are like don't resolve themselves, right? And you take no measures to like help them figure it out and resolve it as well, then over time you'll just start like, I think that's like where barriers come from. That's where like, you know, distance is like created amongst like people who share a relationship.
Yeah.
Because nothing is addressed and therefore nothing is resolved, and then all you can do is just wait and sit and see it goes further and further and further and further away. Yeah. And the next point, which goes on to what we were talking about in the book, it says the problem with this is also the lag time between when you thought of the problem and when you actually bring up and address the problem, right? Let's do a scene, bro. Let's do a scene. Okay, let's do
a typical should we do you want to do a family one, or do you want to do like a couple?
Let's do a couple.
Let's do a couple.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna be the girlfriend, right? Okay. Girlfriend or wife. I'm at home. All right. You come home late and I'm not happy. All right, go.
wait. I'm sorry.
Just knock on the door.
Just wait. I'm an actor.
Yeah, you are an actor. I just realized, why are you knocking the door? You can just come in. Okay. Come in.
Hey, honey. I'm home. How was your day? I know I'm a bit late. Sorry. Caught up in traffic, and there was some work after. Our boss put us on overtime. So.
Have you done dishes?
No, I was at work.
I'm gonna go to sleep first, yeah?
What? Bro, what's she so mad about, man? Just came home, bro. I just want a break. Why are you so mad all the time?
He doesn't even know I'm mad right now.
Fuck this, bro. I'm watching the footy, man.
I'm like trying to sleep, and he's watching football right now? What the fuck?
He's not even
gonna come over and like hug me? What the fuck? And then this goes on for like a year. Right? Yeah. This goes on for like a whole year, and people don't even address the problem. And then like this is what they mean, right? Like small cuts add up to like a million cuts on you, and then you just don't address it. And I'm curious. Maybe I want to know your opinion. Like, why do you think you wouldn't wanna address the situation?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons that. Wait, is this addressing the situation as the person who's? Yeah, the person who's upset, right? Yeah, the person.
Whatever it is,
whatever it is. I think it's because oftentimes, in like relationships and stuff, whatever the parameter of that relationship may be, if you care for the other person, you usually just you want them to just know everything that you would like or that you would prefer, and it's like this is such a day old like quite just the thing. When you love someone, when you care for someone, and you have problems, right? You just expect them to know. Not even expect, but you want them to know. You just want them to know what's wrong with you, and you want them to be the ones to take the first step to resolve it. Because being mad about something, and then you being the one to take the first step to resolve it is like, it's annoying.
Yep.
In quotation marks, it's annoying. It's like you want them to be the one to figure out that I'm mad because you didn't tell me, or I'm mad because this happened or that happened, and you're not figuring it out for yourself.
Yeah. Which is essentially what we said, right? Like, there's the assumption that the communication has already happened.
It's already happened.
And it's already happened in like body language or like how you're not saying anything. And we talked about this on like a previous episode where like at work, again, this example is a pretty good example where like I was starting to get angry at work, and it was just getting too much with like the amount of work that I had to do by myself. And I already had the assumption that my managers knew about it, but in their head, it felt like, why am I always doing this late shift? And they looked at me like, oh shit, he's not happy doing the late shift. But that's not the problem. Like, they saw my face and they knew something was wrong. But even with that knowledge, both of us had the assumption that our communication has taken place with our facial expressions. But the reasoning behind why I was angry was nowhere close to what they thought. Because they gave me quote unquote better shifts, right? So that I could go home earlier. But that wasn't a problem. Actually, putting me to go home earlier is technically worse, because I like to spend the mornings by myself at home and going to the gym, all these kind of things. And then at night, I can just call my parents and go to sleep, because I'm alone at home. So it's like, I don't really need to spend so much time at night by myself.
Exactly.
And only after I told them about it, or like when I was going through like my heartbreak kind of thing, and they saw me like crying after work, they were like, do you want to go home? Not even after work, they were in the middle of my shift, and they were like, do you want to go home? I'm kind of like, and I'm just crying there like, there's no one at home. Like, what's the point of me going home? And all of, like, none of my managers knew, like, I was living alone, right? And they're just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It felt so bad, because everyone is like, we have family at home, and I'm just like, bruh, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'd rather just work. And that goes, like, communication, the word communication is a two-way street. Even if you're communicating with yourself, right? What I've realized is like, you have two sides of you. Like, something as easy as like waking up in the morning, right? You're literally fighting against yourself. Like, you can have a conversation with yourself being like, Hamka, wake the fuck up. It's time to wake up. Nah, 5 minutes snooze, man. Hamka, you have to get out. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, this, it's communication. It's always two people. So there's no such thing as like, whenever there's a communication issue, I've realized like, it is never one person's fault. So that's something that I've been learning as well. Like, even if it's like, for example, it's my fault, there's also a part of the other person where they can take responsibility to be like, oh, I should have said this so that we could solve this
absolutely
a lot easier. And I guess it goes a lot with Asian families as well, with this kind of thing where there's like an assumption.
There is an assumption. It's also I think it doesn't help that we also like can't always express what we think in the first place. So then when you get to it, when you become a little bit older, right, and then you get like upset again, you're not used to being able to say why you are. So you just don't say why you're upset. And then that goes back into like the first thing where it's like you think communications has happened, you think you already think that they know why you're upset, but they don't, and they think another reason, and then there's a time like it adds up, bro. It adds up.
Yeah, which brings to the third point, which is what I think all of this will just keep piling on together as one whole like communication problem. You set the tone for how people treat you. I think this is such a good point where like no matter how bad you are in communication, you are also setting the tone, right? So for example, with the scene that we did, like with the girlfriend being like this, right? The longer this person does this, for example, maybe after like they break up and then she's like, I'm gonna find someone who treats me better or whatever. But her actions hasn't changed. So in future relationships, she's gonna keep doing the same thing and expecting someone to treat her better. But at the end of the day, someone is gonna get tired of this because she sets the tone. Whether you like it or not, even if he's like mean or he is in the wrong, for example, like he promised to come home early but he doesn't, even if he is in the wrong, you still set the tone for how you get treated.
Yeah.
Which is such a I think it is very empowering, to put it that way, because like personally for me, like I told you, right, like with this whatever that I went through, is like as much as there were certain moments where I'm not at fault, I would say it was still my responsibility, because I was getting to a point of like what's the word? I don't want to say desperation, but I was like getting attached, right?
Yeah.
And I'm setting myself up for how they treat me. And if I just walked away, then they probably wouldn't have treated me that way, you know? Because the thing with, I guess the set the tone, like you set a tone for how people treat you, it comes a lot with like standards for yourself. Like you really need a standard for yourself.
Yeah, you do. Everyone does. Even, you see, I'm thinking of just like why it's hard for some people to do that though. Why is it hard for so many people to set a standard for themselves?
I think in human terms, like we have an not expectation, but like I think we have hopes that people will change, like including myself, like,
yeah,
you know.
So it's like you're always holding out that you don't have to do it, because hopefully they'll be the ones to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And not just in the communication sense either. It's like this can be in regards to just the way a person works as well, like just the way they operate on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, you could be the one to like go up and, you know, say like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out, you know, because it's clear to me that you're not what I want and our goals don't align, so I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
It's harder to do that than to just sit there and be like, damn, all right, I hope our goals align. You know, I hope he matches me and what I want.
Yeah, I guess if you want to put it like in more examples, right? It's like, let's say between us, I think a lot of people, including myself, like when we see a show going on or like a podcast or YouTube, whatever, you just like, oh, you just enjoy the show and like that's it.
Yeah.
But like it does take a level of like, I have to plan what we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I have to talk to you about what we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I have to tell you like what the goals are, what time we have to meet, and it takes a lot of communication. So I would say we started off well. In the middle, we got a little bit, not even rocky, like it's just not in your habit to use Telegram that much, and you don't reply a lot.
Yeah. And
at first for me it was like, what the fuck is this guy just not replying, man? Like this guy's just like taking 3 days to reply. What? Like I'm a guy that like texts a lot, right? Like I don't know why. There's something about me. It's not even about like it has to be an important person. Like just seeing the notification there, like just bothers me.
Yeah.
And it takes me to read this book to realize like, what is this relationship as well? Right? And then I start to realize like, you always end up showing up anyway, and you reply when it needs to. And there was no moment where like, whenever I think the part where like it solved it for us was when I told you like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna spam you if you don't reply. Yeah. And then you said like it's okay. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Because I think a lot of people, including me last time, right? When we message a lot and then you take like 2-3 days to reply, and then we start to get angry already. We start to get angry, and then we're like, oh yeah, you don't want to reply, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And especially if that's in a relationship, then it's like it bothers you even more.
Yep.
But I think setting that tone of like, okay, I need you to reply within this few days, and then I'm gonna spam you. As long as you're not offended by that, then we're fine. And then to me, this works.
Yeah.
Like you've been showing up every week. There's no complaints. Text, like it's fine. Like it's not like I need to meet you or like talk to you every single day. So it's like it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. You can compare that to like so many different aspects as well, because as we were going over that, I was just thinking about how important setting a tone is with like friends and stuff. Recently I was pretty upset with what a friend did. They kept ragging on me for something. Okay. Right? They kept ragging on me, and I wasn't taking it very well, but I didn't tell him that I wasn't taking it very well. And our relationship is one that includes a lot of banter, right? So we're always digging on each other and always having like a good laugh, a bit of fun, right? Yeah. We were ragging on each other. But this one thing was like starting to get to me, and it was really starting to piss me off, right? But I just didn't tell him, right? And so for like a week, I was just like, man, this dude keeps pissing me the fuck off, man, right? And then like the next time we did it, I was just like, I like took a step back. I was like, this bro he doesn't even know that I'm mad. Right? And why would he know that I'm mad? It's not like I've fucking said anything. And it's not like I've reacted negatively to any of it either. You know, I've just kept it to myself. So what do I need to tell? So I sent him a message. I was like, hey man, this may sound like I'm bitching, but you know, I haven't been taking it very well. You know, it's starting to get to me a little bit. I'm getting a little pissed off. And he was like, bro, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that was how you were getting it, man. I'll back off. You know, I apologize. And I was like, no, man, I apologize. I didn't fucking say anything. Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's exactly what we've been saying in the past few like episodes. Like, no one knows how you feel until you tell them.
Exactly.
You know, like literally no one knows. And I guess the basic standard that you can set upon yourself is this: the first time something happens, it's an incident. The second time, it might be a coincidence. The third time, it's a pattern already. And once you notice that pattern, it really takes a lot. Like, it does take a lot from someone to be like, I have to walk away, you know? Because at the end of the day, I think with humans, it's the fact that some people, like, we think some people can change. No matter how bad it is, right? Like, even if it's like a abusive mom, abusive dad, whatever it is, you feel like people can change. And sometimes they give you the impression that you can change, but they don't. So I think it's human nature. But that's a good standard to set upon for everyone to just, like, take note. And sometimes it's like we don't even realize like we have to take note, you know, that you just keep letting it happen, and you're like, wait, this has been happening, you know.
Exactly. Yeah
All right, let's go with chapter. We don't have anything from chapter 3, but let's go with chapter 4. I like this one. Start with the heart. I love this. I think
this is so good. Yeah. This is so nice.
Speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret.
That's so good, bro. That's so good.
That is so true, right? Like, remember I told you like I was angry with this person, and I said everything from the bottom of my heart, which was true. But then like 3 days afterwards, I was like, did I need to say it like that?
Yeah, why'd I say it like
because
that?
There's no. It feels good, but it doesn't benefit the relationship in general.
Yeah, because at that point you're just like, you're lashing. Yeah. You're just lashing. It's a straight. There's no coherence or, you know, purpose to what you're saying. Although everything you might be saying is like true in how you feel. Yeah. Does it really need to come across? Yeah. In that way.
And it's the level of intensity as well. But because to me, I feel like it has to happen sometimes because we're human. Like, for example, I don't know, maybe you piss me off. I'll be like, you stupid fucking idiot. All right? Stop doing this and reply me on time. All right? Maybe one day that has to happen. But after that, I have to be like, oh, okay, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, you know. Yeah, you have to stick to the facts. And I feel like I can still accept that. But I think once you start to like going off the tangent a little bit, that's where like it's hard for you to take back, because like maybe I say like, oh, you lazy mother, and I start doing like racial slurs.
Exactly.
That's
you can end up getting like personal and stuff, right?
Yeah,
and shit that like you shouldn't like hit or poke at. But yeah, you use it. You don't even like, because you might not even mean it, but you use it in more of like an adjective. You know, you use it more of like as a describing when you're mad or when you're angry. Like you might not mean it, but that's how you're like using it to describe the person. And to them, that's not an adjective. That's like who they even might think they are.
Yeah.
You know, so you're just like pointing out to them that they're a fucking idiot, and they think they're an idiot. So it doesn't help, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess we have been giving a few examples, and the thing that I've definitely been learning and like applying for my life, whenever like a proper deep conversation is about to happen, don't just start having the conversation. I think the first two questions we need to ask ourselves is, what can you do right now to move toward what you really want? So what do you want for yourself, for the other person, and the relationship? Right, so let's go back to the scene. All right, next day, both of us wake up. All right, this stupid fucking bitch like didn't even wake me up, didn't even like clean the dishes. He didn't even want to hug me. Like, you know, stupid fucking bitch.
What a great morning. Oh, well, let me check the score real quick for last night's game. I fell asleep halfway through.
Oh, I swear I'm gonna beat you up already. But let's say just even one person, right? One person brings this up, like, or things about this in their head. They're like, okay, what do I want to do right now to get what I really want? What do I want? Okay, let's be honest here. I want to lash out at this person, but at the same time, I want him to learn and us to move forward in a relationship. Okay, so with that in mind, personally for me, I'll be like, babe, can we talk about what happened last night? Okay, I was not happy because you promised you would come home earlier and you didn't, and I was stuck with the chores alone. I felt upset and I didn't feel like talking to you, but I want the end of this conversation to be something that we can continue moving towards our relationship and learn from it. I think just getting that on point to be said out loud so that both of you can be in the same frequency is a thing that I've definitely learned to put not on. I faced this within my relationship first, but I applied it really, really well when it came to work, and then now my family as well. Like when it came to work, then I really like, oh shit, like this has really, really worked.
Yeah.
Because I asked myself that question before, like I was gonna go off with my managers, right? I was like, what do I want from this? Like, I just want to have more people work with me and just close better. So I just told them like, okay, my issue is I'm usually alone. I don't want to get angry at you. The end goal from this conversation, I want us to have more people. That's it. But I don't want to get angry at you. And they're just like, oh, okay, let's have a proper conversation instead of being like, oh, this fucking bitch, and like, you know, like, why are you not putting more people on the shift, you know?
Yeah, why is it in my head I feel like that's easier to do in a work and family sense. Why does it feel harder to do that in a relationship?
Yeah, I mean, if we get, like I said, if you get slightly deeper, is that thing, right? Like, when you're in a loving relationship, it's what you learn from your childhood, from your parents, or whoever that you've seen love from, the movies or whatever it is. And it shows all your true colors and your childhood colors, where, like I said, it's like the good parts of it. You get to care for someone, you call them baby, you get to be babied by them as well. But then the other side of it, which is, I guess, the con side of it, all the traumas and the vulnerabilities of your really, really deep insecurities will come out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how do you balance that with your significant other?
Yeah. I mean, I also just like kind of realized the answer as he was with, because I think in my head it's also like, because if you do say it like that, or if you do try to like, if you try to make it like known, or like it's cause for friction, right? And friction is scary, because it's clearly and obviously the best route to take, right? Because that's the only way you get to progress your relationship, because you need to have those conversations to move and to make each other know. But I think it's coming from a bit of like my own personal experience, in the sense where if I did bring something up like that, the only emotion it would evoke in the other person is not reasonability. It would be like anger, right? So so I think that's why I was thinking that way, because in my experience, if I did do something like that, and I have, the only response I get is "you fucking idiot." That's all I got.
Yeah. I guess that's when you have to learn to look at standards, right?
Yeah.
Because the question is, you have to ask yourself this question, like, what is my standard? Am I going to keep taking this? Is this worth, like, because at the end of the day, no matter how amazing your relationship is, how you connect and everything, I've realized, like, after reading so many of these stories on like the Reddit stuff, is like, love is not enough. If you want a long-term relationship, if you want a marriage, love is not enough. You need a teammate. And you have to set that standard of like, okay, if she's going to keep doing this, then go back to that line of like, the first time is an incident, second time it might be a coincidence, third time it's a pattern. And if this pattern is going to continue, and this is a smaller issue, which I have one friend, they were talking a lot more like on date problems and like birthday, like, oh, you didn't get me a present, you were late, all these kind of things. And only after a year and a half, right? After a year and a half, and then he's like reached to a point where he was like, why am I crying and like really the most stressed emotional state possible? And then just one day he had an epiphany of like, okay, can I marry this person? Instantly his brain was just like, why am I even with this person? You know?
Yeah.
I think that's the scariest part about a relationship right now. That's why I'm really deep into it as well, because I do want that long-term relationship, but I realize like we're enjoying so much of this love aspect of it, which you can be in love from whatever it is, but it starts with yourself being like, if I want a marriage, then what do I need? You know? And like, what level of communication do we need to be able to like get to these points? And it definitely comes to like just being young, and we're just like figuring shit out. And as much as there's like rules that we can follow, we know like in life it's all gray. This whole episode, or like the whole thing about having this communication, is to basically give us a heads up. It's better than going somewhere without a heads up.
Without a heads up.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you can knowing this can be like super helpful, but like even if you knew all of this, like in the heat of the moment, whenever you are in the instances where you need like a crucial conversation, right? Or you expect someone to know something, then it can all like, emotion is like strong. It's really strong. This stuff can go over your head. This stuff, you can forget it in a blink of a moment. But still, even then, if you know this stuff, and you know, you have like this is basically like a little handbook, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it helps you with how to handle your relationships and how to progress them, make them better. So if you know this stuff, you know, even if you do have a stronger emotional reaction, when you do become a bit more logical, going back to this stuff is where it counts. Because then you can be like, hey, you know, I'm sorry I was a little angry yesterday, you know, but logically, this is all that I wanted. And then, you know, you can progress with the conversation and whatnot.
Yeah, and the nicest thing about this book is like, it's also reminding, like, at the end of the day, it's your responsibility, like both the parties, no matter how bad it is. Because I think with my experience as well, it's like, there's so many times where we think it's their responsibility, like they have to start it, like they're my boss, or they're my partner, they're my father, they're my mother, like they should have more authority and they should start this conversation. But if you already know you can start the conversation, just do it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just start the conversation. That's the hardest part.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what we talk about, it's all to do it is right. To do it is right, and to do it would help. But then again, starting all of this is always hard.
Yeah, and I guess to summarize this whole book, it does say like these things take practice, and you have to start somewhere, right? And I remember this story. We can say, because like I think I've said it nice enough that he won't be offended.
Okay.
To one of our colleagues, I think you know who that I'm going to be talking about.
Okay.
So this was something that a lot of people at work were already talking about, right? They were talking about his hygiene. They were talking about his hygiene and like how the smell was getting there. And it was reaching a point where like there was too many people talking about it, and I just didn't like it because I bet he doesn't know about it. And after reading this book, literally the first few things, right? Telling a colleague about their personal hygiene, and I was like, okay, cool. How do I say this without like hurting him? And it just basically what you just said to your head, right? How do I say this without hurting him? Hey man, I don't want to hurt you, and I don't mean to hurt you if you are going to be hurt by this, but like I think the smell does get, like your body odor does get a little bit strong, and it's a solvable thing. Like we can solve this. If you want to, like, I don't know if you want me to help you get a perfume or something, like just let me know. Like you can try this. Like I like this perfume. Like I've been using this. It really helps me a lot, you know? And I just want you to know that like some people do talk about it, but it's not your fault. Like it's not your fault because you didn't know, and I'm looking out for you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I think the scary part is how they're going to react, but you have to know from the bottom of your heart, if you're sincere and everything, even if they end up like cursing you out, then it is what it is.
Then it is what it is. Yeah. Because as long as you know that you're coming from a place of sincerity and you are genuine in your attempt to help them, then at the end of the day, you know, whatever reaction you get back is the reaction you get back. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't ever live with that victim mindset where like, you know, you're trying your best to help someone, and if they take it badly, and then some people will be like, see, like every time I try to help someone or like I try to do something, it ends up being my problem. Like that's life. All right, the more you think that way, you're just not gonna move forward in life, and like you just gotta accept some wins and some losses, and as long as you know from the bottom of your heart you've done what you can, then just don't be a victim.
Exactly.
Right. Anything else we want to talk about? Basically the end of the book, it does say focus on the outcome, finish the conversations clearly. Little bit of change can lead to an enormous amount of progress, and that's how life is, right? Like you're studying gym right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can see from like the first episode and till now, it's like it's the slow thing. And I think it's also, I guess we can end it off with this, like I will say this in almost every episode right now. It's like we're living in a time where everything is sort of instant, and no one really wants the small results to end up to the big results.
Yeah.
And it shows in everything that we are failing at, you know, like our relationships. We want like a quick relationship. We want to fall in love real quick. But then you start to realize like, oh shit, down the line, it's actually not going to work.
Yeah.
Or even with like this personal hygiene thing, right? It's not going to solve by itself that quick. Like it's going to be slow, and I might say the wrong thing, and then I get to learn from a different person to say it better. And communication is a skill. It's not something that like after you listen to this podcast or after you read it and you're perfect. Exactly. I'm far from perfect. Yeah. There's going to be emotions involved, and that's human, right? Like that's part of the journey. Like there's going to be emotions involved, and once in a while you want to lash out. I think that's human, but you got to learn to repair that shit.
Yeah, I think repairing is the big one. As long as you know that, like, because everyone lashes out, man. Everyone gets caught up in the heat of the moment. That's just how emotions work. But as long as when you sober up from those emotions, as long as you can logically think and be like, all right, you know what? Yeah, I did take it a bit too far. Let's reel it back a bit, you know. And repairing is also a skill, like being able to repair what you did or what's going on. Yeah,
I would say repair is also like it's a normal thing to do, but also with the cancel culture and everything, doesn't allow people to repair each other, you know, because everything is like replaceable. But yeah,
I think yeah. Well, let's not get started on cancel culture. I think we'll be here for too long.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this, and there's definitely a lot that I think I've relearned now that I've spoken about it, and definitely a lot of flashbacks with like the mistakes that I did. So yeah, leave a comment down below, like what kind of conversations you guys didn't have that actually made things worse, and you thought the conversation was already had. But
were there any what did you guys remember any examples from like any of the scenes that we did? Perhaps
most probably
probably
most
right
probably
yeah.
I think the one that we can end it off with clearly to me was still me showing my mom my plans for Australia, and she just kept quiet, and I walked away being like, she doesn't care about me. And then now, like only 2 years down the line, I'm like, oh shit. She was definitely sad.
Shit.
Yeah. So never assume people know. The conversation hasn't happened yet until you have the conversation, right, guys?
Just have the conversation, guys.
Yeah. All right. See you guys next week. Peace.